What if I told you that the secret to living an extraordinary life has already been discovered? What if the answers to your deepest struggles, your self-doubt, your fear of failure, your confusion about purpose were already spoken aloud by one of the greatest human beings who ever walked this earth? What if those answers have been waiting for you patiently for over 100 years? Today, we are not just going to read quotes. We are not going to simply admire a genius from a distance. Today, we are going to step inside the mind of Albert Einstein, a man who failed, who suffered, who was rejected and misunderstood, and we are going to pull out the timeless wisdom that has the power to completely change the way you think, the way you live, and the way you see your own potential. I want you to stay with me through every word, because what you're about to hear is not ordinary motivation. This is the philosophy of a man who looked at the universe and saw things no one else could see. And today, he is going to help you see things about yourself that you have been missing. Are you ready? Because your life is about to shift. There are moments in history when one human being rises so far above the noise of ordinary life that the entire world is forced to stop and listen. Albert Einstein was that human being. Born in Ulm, Germany in 1879, he entered a world that did not yet know what it was receiving. His teachers called him slow. His early academic journey was marked by rejection and frustration. And yet, within that seemingly ordinary and even struggling young man burned a fire so extraordinary that it would eventually illuminate the understanding of the entire human race. But today, we are not here only to celebrate Einstein's scientific legacy. We are here because Einstein was not just a scientist. He was a philosopher of life. He was a man who thought deeply, not only about the stars and the atoms, but about the human soul, about purpose, about failure, about love, and about what it truly means to be alive. His quotes are not decorative words to be printed on posters. They are living truths forged in the furnace of real human experience. Einstein told us that imagination is more important than knowledge. Pause on that for a moment. We live in a civilization that worships knowledge. We spend fortunes on education. We measure intelligence through examinations and degrees. We celebrate those who know the most. And yet one of the most knowledgeable human beings in history tells us plainly that imagination is the greater power. Why? Because knowledge tells you what already exists. Imagination shows you what is possible. Knowledge describes the world as it is. Imagination builds the world as it should be. Every invention you use today, every technology that connects you to the world, every medicine that saves lives, every structure that shelters humanity, all of it began not in a laboratory, but in someone's imagination. Einstein did not discover the theory of relativity by memorizing facts. He imagined riding alongside a beam of light, and in that act of pure creative visualization, he unlocked secrets that have shaped physics forever. So let me ask you directly. When did you last allow yourself to truly imagine? When did you last sit in silence and let your mind roam freely beyond the borders of what currently exists in your life? When did you last dare to picture a version of yourself so extraordinary that it made you simultaneously excited and terrified? That is the imagination Einstein is speaking about. Not the idle daydreaming of a distracted mind, but the disciplined, courageous act of envisioning what you are truly capable of becoming. Einstein also understood failure in a way that would liberate every person who would truly receive it. He said that anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. Think about what that means for your life right now. Think about the risks you have refused to take because you were afraid of failing. Think about the ideas you have kept locked inside yourself because you feared judgment. Think about the dreams you have quietly abandoned because the first attempt did not work. Einstein is looking you directly in the eyes through the lens of history and telling you that your mistakes are not proof that you are insufficient. They are proof that you are trying the patent clerk who was rejected by universities, the young scientist whose early papers gathered dust, the man who was forced to flee his own country. Einstein was no stranger to failure and suffering, but he never once allowed failure to write the final chapter of his story. He kept thinking, he kept questioning, he kept moving forward with the quiet, unshakable confidence of a man who knew that the right answer was always one more question away. And that is the lesson for you today. Whatever failure you are currently sitting in, whatever mistake is weighing on your chest, whatever rejection is echoing in your mind, it is not your ending. It is your education. Now let us talk about something that Einstein said, which quietly contains the keys to unlocking every door in your life. He said, "I have no special talent. I am only passionately curious." These words, spoken by the man whose name is globally synonymous with genius, should fundamentally change the story you are telling yourself about your own potential. If Einstein claimed that curiosity rather than exceptional talent was his greatest asset, then the playing field of greatness is far more open than most of us dare to believe. You do not need to be born with an extraordinary brain. You do not need perfect conditions, the right connections, or a prestigious background. You need curiosity. You need the willingness to ask questions that others have stopped asking. You need the courage to remain a student in a world that rewards people for pretending to have all the answers. Curiosity is not a personality trait reserved for the naturally gifted. It is a choice. It is a daily decision to look at the world with wonder rather than assumption, with openness rather than certainty, with hunger rather than satisfaction. When you cultivate genuine curiosity about your work, your relationships, your purpose, and the world around you, you become magnetic. You become alive in a way that most people in their comfortable routines have forgotten is possible. Einstein also challenged us with the idea that true intelligence reveals itself through simplicity. If you cannot explain something simply, you do not understand it deeply enough. This is not just an intellectual principle. It is a life principle. How often do we complicate our own lives unnecessarily? How often do we overthink decisions that are actually quite clear? How often do we use complexity as a shield to avoid the uncomfortable simplicity of what we truly need to do? Einstein stripped away the unnecessary everywhere. He believed that nature itself at its most fundamental level is elegantly simple, and he pursued that elegant simplicity in his thinking with relentless discipline. Apply this to your own life. Simplify your goals until they are crystal clear. Simplify your communication until every person you speak to truly understands you. Simplify your daily priorities until you know without question what matters most. In the relentless pursuit of simplicity, you will discover a clarity of purpose and direction that will make you more effective, more peaceful, and more powerful than any amount of complexity ever could. Einstein understood something else that is perhaps more urgent today than it has ever been in human history: the absolute necessity of focused, deep, uninterrupted thinking. He knew that the world's most significant breakthroughs do not come from scattered, reactive minds drowning in distraction. They come from a consciousness that is given the space, the silence, and the time to go deep. In a world where the average human attention span is shrinking by the year, where notifications compete for every moment of your awareness, where busyness is worn as a badge of honor, Einstein's philosophy of focused thought is nothing less than revolutionary. Protect your thinking time. Create space in your life for silence and reflection. Stop celebrating how busy you are and start measuring yourself by how deeply you think and how meaningfully you act. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your thoughts, and the quality of your thoughts is determined by the depth of your focus. Give your mind the gift of stillness and watch what it is capable of producing. And then there is the quote that perhaps cuts the deepest of all: only a life lived for others is a life worthwhile. In these simple words, Einstein dismantles the entire mythology of selfish ambition and replaces it with something infinitely more powerful and more satisfying. A man who had every reason to live for himself alone, a genius who could have spent his life in comfortable isolation pursuing personal achievement, instead chose to connect his extraordinary gifts to the service of others. He advocated for peace when the world was consumed by war. He used his platform to stand against injustice when it would have been far safer to stay silent. He gave generously of his time and wisdom to those who sought his guidance. This is the ultimate life-changing truth in everything Einstein ever said. You are not developing yourself in isolation. Every book you read, every skill you build, every obstacle you overcome, every quality you cultivate is preparation for greater service. The more you grow, the more you can give. The stronger you become, the more you can carry. The clearer your vision, the more effectively you can lead others towards something better. When you anchor your ambitions in the service of others, you tap into a purpose so deep and so sustaining that no failure, no rejection, and no setback can extinguish it. We have journeyed today through the mind of one of the greatest human beings who ever lived, and what we have found there is not intimidating complexity. What we have found is breathtaking simplicity. Imagine more than you know. Embrace your failures as your teachers. Stay passionately curious every single day. Pursue simplicity with discipline and courage. Protect your focus fiercely in a world designed to scatter it. And live, truly, deeply, fully live for the benefit of others. Albert Einstein was not a god. He was a human being who chose day after day to think more deeply, question more boldly, and live more purposefully than those around him. And that choice is available to you right now, today. Not when conditions are perfect, not when you feel ready, not when the obstacles have cleared. Now, you carry within you an imagination that no one has fully mapped. You carry a curiosity that has not yet been fully activated. You carry a capacity for service that has not yet been fully expressed. The quotes of Albert Einstein are not just beautiful words. They are invitations. They are invitations to rise into the fullest, truest, most extraordinary version of yourself that you are capable of becoming. Do not waste that invitation. The universe has been waiting a very long time for you to accept it. To every single person who has stayed through every word of this, thank you. Thank you for choosing growth over comfort. Thank you for choosing wisdom over distraction. Thank you for believing, even in this moment, that your life is worth examining, worth improving, and worth living at the highest possible level. That decision alone already sets you apart. Go forward from this moment differently. Carry these words not just in your memory, but in your actions. Let the wisdom of Einstein live not just in history books, but in the daily choices you make, the courage you display, and the love you offer to the world around you. You are capable of more than you currently believe. That is not just motivation, that is the truth. And the best part of your story is still waiting to be written. Good luck on your journey. You are going to do extraordinary things.